Good morning, traders. Welcome to our daily webinar. This is a daily webinar I do for my group. They get this every day. If you're watching this for the first time, or if you've seen my videos before and you would like to join it, you would like to learn what we are doing in this group, and you would like to be a member of this group, which is an amazing group, send me a Skype message. The Skype is in the description. So click on it. You will add me to Skype and send me a message so you're interested in learning about the group more. We have a live training course coming up on the 19th. It's a 6 weeks training course, but that's the minimum you need to actually learn wave analysis. That is just giving you the basic stuffs for the first 6 weeks. Those are the basic stuffs you would need to understand the rest of what we do in the group. The rest of it is lifelong training. It's a never-ending training process. You have lifetime access, and you will get every single day. You're guaranteed to learn something new, because we all learn something new in this group. That is almost guaranteed. There's not a day that I come in here and I don't learn something new, right? You learn about people as well, not only about trading. So you learn something new every single day. You're welcome to join us. If you like what we do and you think you would like to be in a group like this of with professional traders trading together, join us. That's what I will say. Let's go. If you like my work, and even if you can't afford to join, or you don't want to join, but you like the work, keep watching and keep sharing with people who you think might like the work as well. Let's go. We're going to start. I'm on the yen. I'm starting on the yen because remember I said I'm not selling yen. We didn't sell yen. We sold the Swiss yesterday. Amazing trade. I'll show you the trades we took yesterday and what we did with them. We saw this, but I didn't take it because I still think this as of now is a correction. So we have a buy entry here. We're trying to buy this back to the top, and then we'll see if it breaks out. What if it doesn't go to the top? Right? I think this is the problem with traders get understanding wave analysis. We are looking at this, and we're assuming that this is a corrective structure because we've seen many of these, and they're corrective structures. Now, few impulses starts very slow, and then they pick up speed. So if this is going to be one of those impulses, eventually it will start to do something like this. We'll get out of the trade, and then we'll look for a sell. If this happens again today, then we will start to sell it. As of this point, this came back to the top there. We weren't selling. But if this stops somewhere short of going back to the top and start to fall, we will sell. If it gets back all the way to the top, well, we are going to get profit in this one. And I don't know. I don't think we'll sell it. We'll still be looking for buys, because if they come back to the top, it still remains a corrective structure. See? So unless it's changed what we're looking at as a corrective structure, I'm not interested in the sell. Not that I don't see it dropping, but we're not interested in that sell. We're interested in the buy. So let's see if we get the buy today. Let's go. Dollar index. Dollar index drop. We saw that. We took advantage of it. We took a lot of very good trades. I think we're going to look for two things today. Either they go back up or they correct up. If they correct up, it's a sell. If they go back up, we'll watch for trades that are going to go in that direction. It can go back up. As of now, that is still a corrective structure. I don't think, unless we get a nice correction here that is very small and start to drop, then we can consider that we might be reversing this impulse with an impulse. And that means we're either going to do two things. We're going to make a bigger correction, or we're totally going to go down. And by bigger correction, I mean something like this. Something like that. If they start to drop, we'll get something like this. Or we're totally going to break the low. The low I showed you many times, right? Gold, going back up as expected. Nothing new here. Exactly what we expected. It's in a correction. This is a corrective structure. Come here. This was a buy. It probably got break even out of that. There's another buy setup that you can get here. It's not a big trade. You'll probably get a small trade, and then we'll look for the sell. So hopefully we get that buy today. It ends the move, and then we get a sell tomorrow. Right? Now, this can go a little higher than that. It doesn't have to stop exactly the top. And it doesn't even have to break the top. But we're anticipating that they will break the top because we're looking for a regular flat. Break the top and then downside. Silver. Silver is a little different in terms of pattern because it's not making the running flat we thought we were looking for, which was this one. So that didn't happen. They go higher. We saw that possibility. It's making a running flat here, so I think we should get one more up, and then we're either going to drop or we'll continue to go. Now, gold does not have that continuation pattern. Gold has a flat for downside, one more down. Now, if it is going to be a dollar movement, which means gold and silver will go in the same direction, we can expect silver to do this and drop one more. As far as the bigger pattern is concerned, I still think they can drop one more. Remember, I said they could come anywhere close to this area here. So I can see it doing this, drop one more, and then start the up move. Right, and this up move is coming. It will come. I think by now you should be convinced that when you see these running flats, they work. Right, because more than 90% of them that I've shown you work perfectly. So that one is coming. The question is it coming now? Well, we will be in this buy. I will personally be in the buy. I'm waiting for this buy. Let it come a little more here, and then I'm looking for that buy, and then from there we'll see. If it becomes, I don't know, I'll try to get it from here. If it becomes a small, they start to reverse, it's a small profit, then we'll look for the sell. If it continues to go higher, well then great. That would be a silver move and not the dollar movement. That means the silver price will change. Euro, pretty easy, right? You should be buying. That's what we said. And there's still a buy setup here. Now you got to be careful of this buy setup. Right, this turned out to be a very good buy for us yesterday. Now you have to be careful of this buy because it's a smaller flag. It might just do this and then start to come back for a bigger correction like this. So you would have to be careful of that because you might get some divergence here and then you might start to see it coming down. Now, that is if you're unlucky. You'll get break even from that trade. If you're very lucky, it makes one more like that, take profit, and then it starts to come down. So it will be a buy, and then we'll see. What we're doing is we're reversing this last impulse here, which means we're either correcting to the upside, making a bigger correction like this. That's one option. Or the second option is we're trying to get to this top. And both of those are possible right now. So the buy is a good idea. Go back to the one hour, and we will go with that buy. Pang didn't break out. Pang didn't go anywhere. It actually dropped as expected. We've got this. There was a flag here, and I said, be careful. This could do this. Come here. Go back up. This would be a running flat here. So there's a sell setup on the pound, not a buy. A buy in the euro, sell in the pound. So guess which trade we made a lot of money from yesterday when we saw that. Once we saw that the pound was going to go down and the euro was going to go up, we took this trade to the upside. See that? We got this trade from the low. I don't know if anyone, I think in the webinar that was valid. I showed you guys in the webinar. That's a valid trade, and we got this trade. See? Two trade, and there's another entry that is sitting at the top there now. Where is this going? Well, did I tell you that these sharp moves are important? You get them 90% of the time. We're going for that one. That's the first one we're going for. What if I'm wrong about that? If I'm wrong about that, this thing is going to go much higher than that. That's all. If I'm wrong about that wave, we're going to go much higher, not just to that top, but higher. So there's another impulse here to come. It doesn't mean that the impulse will come immediately now, considering the fact that this one was really sharp. It doesn't mean this one is going to be that sharp. It means that you'll have to be careful now that this could just break the top, come back for a deeper correction, and then go. Right? That is possible. So you'd have to get out for break even here, get back into this one for this, and then watch it come down. But it's going to go. There's a very high probability for that thing to go. Sorry, I should go back to the top. Yes. So euro, we're in the pound. Aussie, that's a buy that I took, became a break-even trade, which means I took the buy here. It didn't go for a long time. If you can even close it now this morning, but I closed it yesterday for break-even because it wasn't going. I realized it's not going to go. And right now we're looking for a short-term sell setup here. And I said short-term because this would be a short-term trade. It's still in the corrective zone, so I'm not sure this is going to go lower. It might just probably, drop somewhere here and then start to go back up for a correction here and then go. That is possible, or just drop to this level and go back up. So we'll still take the trade and we'll see where it leads to. There's another possibility for another pattern. I don't want to go into details of that. That's a long story. I'll have to explain too many things with that, right? Let's go. Aussie CAD, where is the New Zealand? New Zealand up there, sorry. And yep, New Zealand's CAD. Let me just bring this back up. These are some charts I moved up yesterday because I was in the trades in those charts. Yen up here. And Swiss up there. Yeah, I'll move them back later. Sorry, I should have done that earlier. Yes. Let's go. CAD, we were trying to sell the CAD yesterday. So New Zealand, we didn't do anything in this because it actually came down really sharp and it wasn't a very good setup to buy it here. So we didn't do anything in New Zealand yesterday. New Zealand might just consolidate in here. And if we get a consolidation here, we'll look for a trade to the upside. Right? If we see that they're consolidating in this zone here, we'll try to get a trade to the upside. Right now, there's nothing interesting in it. CAD, we tried to sell the CAD yesterday. It was coming up nicely. It didn't go. We didn't get the trade. It didn't. I actually saw this, but I'm not interested in the buy. Not while we were in this downtrend here, going down there. And even now, I'm not interested in the buy as yet. If I'm going to get the buy in the CAD, I want to see this structure negated. So I want to see this actually break out, make a bigger correction here, and now I will definitely be in that buy. So once it breaks, once it came to the top and it's going back down, the buy is not the most important one now. But if they break out back and they give us a correction like that, the buy comes back in play, right? And the buy will be much more important than the sell. So right now, I'll just leave it, watch it, see what it's doing. There is a buy setup on it. I'm not very keen because of where it is. Probably buy something else with a CAD in it, and I'll show you what we bought with the CAD in it. So let's see. Yen. Sorry, I showed you that already. And Swiss, we sold the Swiss. I hope you sold it too. There was a sell here. There was a sell earlier here. We pulled that sell, bring it down here. There was a reason. We saw the pattern here. We didn't like it. We said, let's put it lower. And I'm still in that trade. So you can close that trade now and put an entry here if you want. Because it could correct higher. So you don't have to live through that correction. Aussie CAD, this was a buy. I showed you this trade also yesterday. Put an entry out of there, it's going, you're correcting here. So it might be a small flat forming here for upside, but if they consolidate much more, you can take the profit, look for another upside. I still think there's a lot more upside to go in this one. We'll probably make bigger corrections, much deeper to the upside, and then we'll start to see where it goes, how it behaves from there. But there's more upside here. Let it correct it, and then we'll buy again. Aussie Yen. Aussie Yen did not go. I think we were in the trade, but it came very more like a break-even trade because it didn't go. So we're waiting to see what this piece is doing. This looks upside, but you might just get a bigger correction here. We don't have a buy set up in it as yet. So probably later in the day, we'll get that. I think I skipped some more. Okay, we'll go through as they are. These punk trades were the ones I was trading yesterday. We were trading yesterday, so that is why they're so high here. Punk CAD was a sell from here. I am not personally in the punk CAD. Some of our traders took it, and it's coming back. Remember what I told you about running flats and those sharp moves? When you get them, be careful. They always come back. That's the magic of wave analysis. You will learn that very soon. When you start to figure out all of this, you realize that this is coming somewhere there. So I think I showed you a lot of these pieces, especially you see that arrow is still there for the up one. And now the down one is here. And guess what's going to happen when we finish this? We have one more move here to finish. You can probably get that sell. And then after that, we're going up. All right, once that is finished, we're going up. How low would that go? I don't know. Normally, it doesn't go very low. It could go a little lower than that. But once you get this and it stopped, just start looking for the move to the upside. Pound New Zealand, this one I sold personally. So sold it there. I closed it this morning. I'm in the buy now. The buy is not going so good, but I'm not worried about that. This pattern is very clear. I'll show you the pattern. So what you have here is a 1. One more up. This looks like a 1, 2, 3. So we'll probably get one more up there. Come back here, and either we take off or either this continues to go, depending on how you look at this flat at the top there. All right, but there's one more to go to the upside. Now it can come back a little down here. The reason I closed the trade is because we broke the low. That's all I'm expecting. I took a very early buy there. It's not going. No big deal. It will give you a break-even trade eventually. So any pullback, if I still think this structurally is going to go much lower, we'll get out of it and get in the sell. I will not be selling this today. This I'll probably get out of it and wait for the buy setup. If it goes back up here, I'll close the trade and then go for the buy. It's just about a couple pips away. So can it go lower? Yes, they can go lower, but eventually it goes back up like this. Right? Eventually they go back up like that because this pattern is incomplete as it stands right now. Pangos, this one is a sell. The selling, I showed you this pattern very clear yesterday. The sell from here, drop to this level, you can close your trade. This could go much more lower. Actually, the Pong Oz could go lower. There's more places to go. It could drop one more here, and then from this point, it will either go back up or break through the whole pattern. I think it's unlikely we're going to break through, but we'll see when we come. Because we could still get back to the top here, right? We could still just drop a little here and go back to the top there. So we'll see when it drops. When we get a turning point, we'll be buying or we'll continue to sell. Right now, it's a sell setup. It has a sell setup in it. And if it breaks, you can sell. They're making a flag, so that's a good sell setup. EuroCAD. EuroCAD is finally making an attempt to the upside. And there's a big move to come there. So if it makes a flag today, there's a big move and it's going to go really sharp like this. See that? So if you get a flag here today, we're buying. Now, how fast and how far it's going to go, we'll see when we get in the trade. But potentially, that's the impulse we're looking for. So you're actually getting a flat pattern forming right now. There's a running flat forming in this pattern here right now. See this piece? So you want it to come back a little here, and then you can get that running flat to go. That should be a good trade. Europong, this is one we bought. I told you about this yesterday also in the trading room. We bought this here, we bought it here, and we're going to get another buy here right now. That is active. Let's go New Zealand. New Zealand yen, you can look for a buy setup. I think this is a nice running flat. Look for a buy setup there if they go. And this looks like a good running flat. There's more upside in this trade. I will post an update on the New Zealand yen and the New Zealand dollar. I forget to do that. I'll probably do it for you guys today. And this is a good trade. You could do it two ways. You could get an early entry here. You could put an entry above the top. Remember, we sold this. I think somewhere here we sold this. And we're going to get that one up. It's going up. It's probably going to give you a move like that. Maybe even bigger. So the buy setup here is a good one. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Yep. Let's go. So you can either getting an early entry here, especially if we get a complete pattern for a buy here, or put an entry above there. The move to the upside is big. I'll post this today in the community section on YouTube, and you can follow it. I'll post the trade if I take the trade as well. Canadian, stay away from it. It's coming down. We're making another running flat here probably. I'm not sure about this running flat, but because this is not very corrective. But it's coming down. If you want to sell, just be careful of this possibility that it could come here and then go back up. We have a number of running flats in the past on this pattern, but they were clearer. This one is not so clear. This last move looks very impulsive. So be careful with it, but you can sell. Swiss yen. Okay, so here we are. What do we have on this one? We have to be careful. This is starting to look like a flat that we were expecting this to go back up once we broke that low, but this piece is not very clear still. Right? We could still come back down one more. So probably stay away from this one. We'll see today if we have a turning point there. The complete pattern, it's a little complex. There are a lot of sharp waves in it that are not very clear where they belong. So we'll have to wait for more information in it. There is a buy setup here. I don't think you want to take it. Buy something else. Here's the deal. It doesn't matter what this does. Just go buy something else. You can put your money in better risk. Right? You don't have to trade this. Right? Aussie Swiss, stay away from this. Aussie New Zealand, you could go for the buy, but the best thing would be stay away from it. See, the running flat worked perfect. It turned. There was a buy setup here yesterday. We didn't take it because you're a break-even trade. I don't advise you to take it. Remember this one, what I told you? It's probably going to do the same thing. Stay away from this. Euro New Zealand, there's a buy setup. You can be careful here. I don't know. It's going back up. Looks like we're going to go back up one more, right? So this came down. We were expecting this to drop and break through. It didn't break through. Go. You're getting consolidation there. This is going to make a new high. Go for the trade. I think we might go for this buy today if we see it. It's consolidating, very nice, and it definitely looks like they're trying to go up. So once the pattern is completed and you get it pull back to this level, that buy is a good one. Euro yen. You're going to consolidate here some more, right? See this? Probably go up, pull back, get a running flat here, and then go. We're still going up, but it's going really slow. You're making a running flat right now because we have one sharp impulse and nothing else with it. Euro Swiss. This should break. But go with an entry for a seller. This consolidation here should break to the downside because this is a complete pattern as it stands. We have a big flat in here, which is unnecessary. Not necessary. It shouldn't be there because basically patterns like these ones, they complete, they go down as a very sharp move. Now, this move is going down really slow, and we are trying to make a move down like this. So maybe this sharp move is not really out of, if you get this trade, take it. If not, just ignore this pair because all we're going to do is come to this level and then go back up. Break the low and then go back up. So not the best trading, but if you can put an entry order here and it drops really fast, good for you. Euros, stay away from it. There's a pattern forming here that is not clear as yet. You could either go with the expanding flat, or if you take out the expanding flat and go with something else here, which would be this one. No, not so clear. So I think we just stay away from this. We eventually will get what it's not an expanding flat because they're going back up, which means the expanding flat is negated. I don't think this is all the correction either because it's a little sharp to the downside. And the B part of it is not very clear. So we'll probably make something here, go back there, come back here, and then by the time this goes up, we will get a very clear pattern. Right? Sometimes it takes a while before you get the pattern that is clear. You have to wait for it. Just like this expanding flat. I don't think it's an expanding flat anymore either because we should have gone with a sharp wave to the downside, which is not happening. So if you take out all of this, what you have is a consolidation going on with a lot of pieces in it that are not very clear. Eventually, when all of this is finished, you can see the pattern clearly. You need to wait for more pieces. Pancad. Okay, so we did drop. We dropped here, but it didn't go very far. And this was one of the trades we didn't trade yesterday because there wasn't a big trade in it. And it can stop from here and go back up. That is possible. They don't have to go all the way to the low because the low of this one, the whole low of the impulse is there. All of that is correction. So you can go from here as a contracting flat to the upside. That would make sense. Or they might even drop one more here and then go. Either sell is useless. Don't try to sell it. You'll not get a good risk to reward. But if they go up anywhere above here that we get a flag, we'll buy. Because the move to the upside is a big one. Let's go to the 4 hour. Yeah. If they go up, they'll probably just do this. Come here, go back there, and then we'll look for the sell. We can buy this and then go for the sell. All right, the sell to this place is happening. It's just that this correction will take longer. Because if you look at all the previous corrections, here is the previous one. See this? It was much bigger than this. This is only one impulse now. So this, whatever it is doing, it's probably might come here, then go back up there. You will get a buy, and then you'll get the sell. So you need a bigger correction in here before we can go down. Peng Yen. Okay, this drops. So if you get, it could be going down. There is no pattern we're looking for. We just completed this one. So this could either be bigger correction in play. See, we haven't broken the top as yet. They don't necessarily have to break the top. I told you that already because we broke the low. So you can look at this as a 1, 2, 3. And this could literally come back here. Now, it doesn't mean they're coming now. They can crawl back up still like that and then come. But if it is starting the down move, you definitely want it. So if we get a flag here today, we'll take the trade. If we get a flag or a correction here today, you probably want a correction, not just a flag, because you already have a flag. But this is a really small one. I think we want a bigger correction here so that you have more confidence in the next impulse. If we get that, there's a trade to the downside. New Zealand Swiss, you can look for a trade to the downside. This one has one more down. So the pattern worked out the way we told you, with the way we looked at it. 1, 2, 3. We are going for this one here down, and then upside. Right? So there's a trade to the downside here today if it happens. It's consolidating. You just have to wait for that consolidation to finish, and then you can go for the trade. Probably will consolidate more. New Zealand CAD. Okay, you've got a running flat here, or a bigger running flat here. Depends on how you look at it. You can look at this as a bigger running flat in this piece. So you've got 1, you've got 2, you've got 3. We're in what next? Next, you have to come back down again, right? So probably stay out of this because we still have this one that is really sharp. So we'll have to come back down here and complete this one. And then we'll have to go back up and then drop. So probably stay away from this. Cat Swiss. Okay, so this didn't break out. It came down. What's the bigger picture? You want to see whether that's a turning point. That's all. Yes, it could be a turning point. See? We could be coming down for this move now. And then go back up. So let's see if that is what they're doing. Go back to the 4-hour. Let's assume this was coming down for 1 hour. Just want to make sure you don't jump into correction. Okay, that could just be a slow start to the downside. You get an impulse, you get a running flat there, and then you get a small one. Yeah, you could go with that. Wait for a flag here. Wait for a correction, not a flag. You want a correction here. And then you want a correction like this, and then we'll start to sell it down. So this will probably be a day or two before you get a trade to the downside. Let it break the top. You want copper to break the top, go back one more, break that top, and then you start looking for the sell setup. I wanted to break the top of this because that's the first impulse up. Come down here, break the top, and then we'll sell. We'll look for the sell setup. Oil. So you're in the consolidation. Okay. So this one, we didn't take the trade. We were waiting for a pattern, but even if any one of my traders take it, they'll probably exit the trade right here. And now it's going, it looks downside right now. This piece looks downside. We're in a consolidation. So here's what you have to be careful of. You're consolidating in this piece. The trade, the bigger trade is downside, but I don't think it's ready to go because it might be too early, right? See, this is what you have. You have this move down and you start to get this correction. I don't think this one is ready to break out, but I can see them coming down back here and then going back up like that. There's a possibility this is just becoming a bigger correction here. Right, if you take that entire piece, it's just becoming some kind of a bigger correction like this in the middle. Right, this whole piece here. So this move right now looks a little downside, maybe break this low again, but then go back up because we don't have these waves there as yet. So you can take the sell. And if I'm wrong, congratulations, it will break the low and continue to go. If I'm right about what I think is happening here, this might just drop to this level and go back up. So you can go for that sell, but try to get break even out of it. Because it's not necessarily this thing is over and ready to go. Consolidation is too small. UK oil, same here. We haven't broken the top. See, we drop here. This is perfect. We need this to go back up, break the top, and then come back. So this consolidation might just come here, go back up there, and then downside. That could complete the pattern. So I'll be careful of this sell. I let it break out and make a flag, and then we start to sell it if that's the case. Natural gas, you have a sell setup. You had that one, you got another sell setup. These are short term to the downside here, and then we'll start to look for the buy setup from there. So you have some more sell. US 30, okay, just consolidating. So that should be a buy. They're still in that consolidation, I think, from yesterday. You're getting another consolidation here. So the more this consolidates here, the more you look for that trade, right? S&P 500 also consolidating. So you can see this. Probably this and then upside. DAX consolidating. This is the first move down. So this would make some flag here, drop again, and then go. You can look for a sell here. I would sell the DAX if I was trading it. Every sell setup you get, you'll take it and let it be a break-even trade because you're the top and it can fall anytime. Now, I don't think this is the fall, but if you get used to taking all the sells, some will be break-even and the rest will be profitable. AU 200. We're in the bigger flat, still in the bigger correction. You still have this and you still have that. So at some point, you'll have to come down back here. Either as a three wave like this or a three wave like that, back to the low and then up. I don't see this one taking off. So I'll be careful of any buys there. There was a sell here. This didn't go anywhere. So it could be we're making a running flat here for one more up. 1, 1, 2, 3. I really don't. Wait until this finish. Maybe one more up and then downside. It's not the big move to the upside because this is not how the impulse starts. This is how the impulse starts. See that fast move up? That's an impulse. This is still within the correction. Nifty, upside. You're going to get a small upside trade here. Very likely this is starting to look like it's going to come back here. And then either they break out or they come back down. All right, so it looks incomplete, so I believe they'll come back down. One more. Tesla, still a buy. Amazon, still a buy. Amazon has a nice setup now. If you were buying Amazon from here, you're doing well. There's a buy still there to go. SLR, let's see what this is doing. Okay, you might get buys back to the top here and then downside. Wait for a flag and then. No, this is not a flag, that's a correction. This one is correcting much more to the downside. You're getting another correction here. So you could get one more drop, take profit. Reliance. Okay, it's coming back to this level for a running flat. I think we're going to go there, make a running flat, and then go down. So it's more downside. PayPal. It's going up. You don't have a lot more up left than the PayPal. It's already there. From this point, it's already there. Maybe a little more up and then downside. Maybe a little more up and then downside. Bitcoin. It's just not going anywhere. It's kind of consolidating in this level here. See? You went down, you went back up, you came down, you go back up, you come down here, you're probably going to go back up there. You still might come back here and then take off. Right? So this one going to go back up a little here. Break that top. I don't think it's a takeoff, but you can take the trade if you want. Like I said, if you want to buy at the top here, it's your choice. But then you're going to get this. You should come back here and then go. Right? If the consolidation happens in that area, you're still going to get one more impulse up. XRP. Okay, so let's see if we're still going up. We're not coming back as yet, but there's a high probability for this to happen because that can't be all the correction by itself. So if you're buying here, you got to be careful. You can buy, just put a stop in case this starts to fall because it can fall, right? Not really fall, but correct downwards, which means something like this likely going to happen at some stage. It doesn't have to be exactly from this point. They can go a little higher. They can go a little higher. They haven't really gone anywhere from yesterday, right? This is what you have since yesterday. See, we're still here. So you haven't gone anywhere, and you're probably still going to be here. You could still go a little higher, but then that impulse will come back for the running flat. Sideways. You're actually going to get a little, you should get a little drop here. Break this low. Complete the flat pattern, and then upside. All right, just a little more downside here. Break this low. Once the low is broken, you can start looking for upside. Same here, we've got, let's see the bigger picture what this has. Okay, so you're at the top. Let's assume you're looking at a 1, 2, 3. We still have this sharp wave unaccounted for. So if you're buying this, you have to be really, really careful, because at some point now, at any point here, even after breaking this top, you're going to get a very sharp move down like that. And then you'll continue to go up. Right? It's an upside. It's just a big correction that is incomplete. It's an incomplete daily correction. So I think at some point you'll get this, and then you'll go back up. So be careful. That drop there is very likely. ETH, you're getting a flag at the top, so that means you'll get one smaller move up. You're getting a flag here, see? So you might get one more small impulse here. You could get a number of those small impulses, but you're going to get this drop as well. So you've got to be careful of that as well. Let's go back to the 1 hour and see. Yes, you're likely going to get one more upside with this one. First there, and then pull back here, and then go for the bigger one, right? Finish that flat, make a new high, and then come back down. That is likely what's going to happen here. We'll see. Dash. See what this is doing? Upside. Yep. This can go all the way to this top. So the buy could go all the way to the top, maybe slightly target, but then the likelihood is you still have to get this to complete that pattern. That pattern is incomplete as it stands. Okay, this is the only one that doesn't have to complete anything. See? It's just a big move up, and they're retracing that big move back. So any sell setup you get here, wait for this to go back up there. Wait for this to complete itself. See that? 1, 2, 3, and then go for the sell. Let it make that flat in the middle there, then you go for the sell. Out to see? Sideways. One more up. Let's see what the bigger picture is telling us. One more up and then down. This piece is still very likely to happen. This one. Sorry, this piece. So this could go a little more up, but then eventually it comes down. It is a running flat, so it could go a little higher. No problem with that. And ADA. Let's see, we broke the top, so 1, 2, 3. You can come back here. Let's see if we have any sell set up for me. Not as yet, but they're also not going up, right? We don't have a sell set up, but they're not going up. They're just going sideways for now. So stay out of this one. So guys, I think I managed to finish it within an hour. Tried my best to go very fast. The Swiss is already going. A few trades are broken. Aussie is going back up for the correction. Yen is coming down for a flat. It's a nice flat there for for the buy on the yen. All right, it's coming down. It's just consolidating. If it goes lower, then I'll pull the buy. If this comes lower here, then I'll pull the buy. But for now, the buy is still valid. Right, it's a valid buy for now. But if it goes lower, then I'll pull it, and then we'll see from there. So guys, take care, trade with care. Thank you for watching this. And remember, if you want to join us, send me a Skype message. If you like the video, please share it. Trade with care. See you tomorrow. Bye.